Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ramon. The first time you are stopping by, you are welcome. If you are a trans subscriber, thank you guys for coming back to watch my video. So in today's tutorial, I'll be showing you guys how I made this beautiful top that we are seeing on the screen. So I use mesh material to make this. So I'll be showing you guys how I drafted the pattern and join the pieces together. So if something that you're interested in, you know that definitely keep on watching. So guys, for this tutorial you'll be needing 1.5 yards of mesh fabric, the invisible zipper and your matching thread. So let's run into the drafting process. So guys, from the edge of the pattern I'm going to come down by 1 inches, which is going to be the starting line and also the shoulder line. So after I'm done marking it, I'm going to roll out a vertical line there. So from there I will start taking my measurement. So I'm going to mark the distance between the shoulder to the bust line, which is 10.5 inches, and to the waist, which is 16 inches. So after that, I'm going to roll out a vertical line there. After I'm done roll out the vertical line, I'm going to go up on the shoulder line and then marking half of my shoulder measurement, which is 15 divided by 2, which is 7.5 inches, and come down by 1 inch from there. After that, I'm going to mark in the armhole length. So you divide your bust circumferences by 6 plus 1.5 inches. My bust is 36 divided by 6, which is 6 plus 1.5 inches, making it 7.5 inches. So I'm going to mark down 7.5 inches for the armhole length and then roll out a vertical line from there, which is going to be the chest line. So I'm going to label my pattern the chest line, the bust line, and then the waistline. So from the waistline, I'm going to come down by 9 inches, which is the distance between the waist to the hip line. I'm also going to label the hip line. So after that, I'm going to find the midpoint of the armhole line and then come in by half inches. After I'm done marking it, I'm going to go down on the chest line and divide my bust measurement by 4. So my bust is 36 divided by 4, which is 9 inches. And note the guys, because this is a stretching material, we don't need to add any sewing allowance. So on this pattern, I'm not going to add any sewing allowance to it. Or you can just like minus 1 inches out of your bust measurement before you divided it by 4 and then you mark it. That also work. So after I'm done marking the measurements on the chest line, I'm going to cover the armor curve. So after I'm done with that, I'm going to go up on the shoulder line and then come in by 3.5 inches for the neck width. After that, I'm connecting it to the shoulder slope. After I'm not connecting it, I'm going to go down on the waistline and find the quarter of my waist measurement. My waist is 32 divided by 4, which is 8 inches. I'm going to mark it and also go down on the hip line and also find the quarter of my hip measurement. My hip is 42 divided by 4, which is 10.5 inches. I'm also going to mark it before I use my master ruler to connect the point together. As I was saying before, this pattern does not have any sewing allowance, so I use exactly my bust measurement, the waist measurement, and then the hip measurement. It does not have any sewing allowance. So on this side there of the hip line, I'm just going to go up by 2 inches and then connect it back to the hip line. I've also been using this pattern for both front and back. So I'm going to mark in my neck depth. So I'm going to come down by 3.5 inches on the shoulder line and then connecting it back to the neck point. I'm also going to mark my back neck depth, which is 1 inches. I'm also going to connecting it to the neck point. So guys, that is it for the drafting of the pattern. Let's cut it out. So guys, I'm not cutting out the pattern. I'm going to put it aside and then also draft the pattern for the sleeve. So I'm going to take another paper, roll out the straight line there, which is going to be the sleeve edge. So from the center there, I'm going to come in by 4 inches. So after I'm done marking it, I'm also going to mark 8 inches. Note guys, because we are working with the stretching material, we don't need to do too much. So after I'm done marking that 8 inches, I'm going to come down from there by 3 inches. That is for the bicep line. So after I'm done mark that 3 inches, so from that 4 inches that I mark from the center line, I'm going to come down by half inches before I cuff out my sleeve cuff. So after I'm not cuffing out my sleeve cuff, I'm going to take my front bodice and then measure what I have there on the armor cuff, which is 8.5 inches. So I'm going to mark that 8.5 inches on the sleeve cuff. After I'm done marking it, I'm going to use the marker to make the line more visible. So after that, I'm going to mark the length of the sleeve, which I'll be using 18 inches because this sleeve have a flare at the bottom. So I'm going to roll out a vertical line there and then mark 4 inches for the round sleeve. So after I'm done marked the 4 inches, I'm going to connecting it together. Note guys, I did not add any stitches allowance to the sleeve. I used exactly the measurement that I have, so I do not have any stitches allowance to the sleeve. So after I'm just cutting out the sleeve, I'm going to put it aside and also draft a pattern for the peplon. So I'm going to take another paper, make a cuff line, then and make sure that what I have there is exactly what I have on the hem of the sleeve, which is 4 inches. So to mark the length of the sleeve, I'm going to raise my table up by 80 inches for the length that we use for the upper part. So I'll be using 15 inches. So from the side there, I'll be marking 9 inches. 9 inches plus 18 inches, that is about 27 inches that I use on this side. And note guys, this is the asymmetric flare. So on the side there I use 27 inches, while on the center I use 25 inches. So the side is about 2 inches longer than the center. So I'm going to connect it together. After I'm done using my marker to connect it together, I'm going to start cutting it out. So guys, after I'm done cutting it out, this is what it's looking like. So I'm going to label it the center, front and the side. As you can see, the same measurement I have at the hem of the sleeve is the same thing with the flare. And the center front of the flare is going to cut out on fold. So guys, we have done drafting out the pattern. Let's cut it out on the fabric. So guys, I will be cutting both front and back together at once. So I'm going to fold my fabric into 4 like you see me doing so. After that, I'm going to place my pattern on top of it and then use it to cut out the fabric. So guys, after I'm not cutting it out, I'm going to remove the pin and then separate the front from the back. So after I'm done separate it, I'm going to fold it back again, cut out the front neckline on the pattern, place it back on the fabric and use it to cut out the front neckline on the fabric. So guys, we have done cutting out the front and back on the fabric. So I'm going to put it aside and also cut out the sleeve. So I'm going to fold my fabric into 4. After that, I'm going to place my sleeve pattern on top of it and then use it to cut out the sleeve. After I'm done cutting out the sleeve, I'm going to put it aside and also fold my fabric. So I'm fold my fabric into 8 now because the sleeve, I'm going to double the sleeve. So after I'm done folding it into 8, I'm going to place my pattern on top of it. After that, I'm going to use it to cut out the fabric. After I'm done cutting it, on this side here, I'm going to open it. You know that everything is on fold now. So one side of it, which is the lower part, I'm going to open it like you see me doing so. And guys, this is what the flare is going to look like. after you don't open it on the side. As you guys can see that instead of me cutting out two pieces, I cut out four because I'm learning the flare using the same fabric. So guys, we are done transferring our pattern to a fabric. So I'm going to put the sleeve aside and then work with the bodice. So I'm going to place it on top of each other. Make sure that the right side of the fabric, the right side of the back and the front is facing each other before I start pinning it. So I'm going to start my stitches on the shoulder, which I'm going to join one shoulder first because the other side of the shoulder we are going to fix our zipper there. So after I'm done pinning it, I'm going to stick it to the machine to stitches together. So after that, this is what it's looking like. So the next thing to do now is to fix the collar. So I'm going to measure around the neck, which I have 18.5 inches. So that 18.5 inches, I'm going to use it to cut out a straight fabric. So guys, I went ahead, I cut out a straight fabric and I'm going to cut out the length, which is 18.5 inches, and the width is 1.5 inches. So I'm using 1 inches for the width of the collar plus half inches sewing allowance, and I'm going to minus 2 inches out of the length of the collar. So if I minus 2 inches out of 18.5 inches, what is going to remain is 16.5 inches. So I'm going to use that 16.5 inches for the length of the collar. So I'm going to place it around the leg by sewing it. So after I'm done sewing it, I also went ahead, I ironed my collar. So the next thing to do now is to fix the zipper on the shoulder. So I'll be using this invisible zipper. Sorry guys that the zip doesn't match the color of the fabric. That is what I have. And I'm going to use it like that. So I use half inches to fix the zipper on the shoulder, and this is what it's looking like after I'm done fixing the zipper. I'm going to put this aside and cut out the fabric that we are going to use to drape on the front. So I went ahead, I cut a fabric and I'm going to use my bust circumference divided by 2. So my bust is 36 divided by 2, which is 18 inches. So the width of the fabric is going to be 18 inches, which is on fold, and the length is going to be 19 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and stitch this down on this line here and turn it outside. And after I'm done turning it outside, this is what it's looking like. So I want this joining here to be at the center, so I'm going to push it to the center like you see me doing so. So after that, I'm going to place it on the middle. So guys, after I'm done plating it, I went ahead and make a row about half inches width. So I'm going to use it to hold it at the center together like you see me doing so. And I'm going to make it tight before I cut out the excess and leave half inches to stitch it together. So guys, after I'm done stitching it, this is what it's looking like. So the next thing to do now is to place it on the front fabric. So from the shoulder there on the front fabric, I'm going to measure from the shoulder to the underbust line, which is 13.5 inches, and I'm going to mark it on both sides before I place my drape on top of it. So the drape is going to stop at the underbust line, and it's also going to start from 2 inches from the underarm. So I'm going to start pleating it and use a pin to hold it together. So guys, after I'm done with the pleating, I'm going to place the back fabric on top of it and then pin it together. and I'll be using 1.5 inches to stitch it together on the side. So guys, before I join the sides together, I first of all stitch down the middle part on the center to make the drape stay in place. So guys, after I'm done joining the side, this is what it's looking like. So the next thing to do now is to work on the sleeve. So I'm going to remove my pattern on top of the fabric and use 1.5 inches for the side joining. So for the flare, I'm going to turn everything inside except the upper part, which we are going to use to attach the flare to the upper part of the sleeve. So guys, I'm done joining the side of the sleeve. So on the right sleeve head, I use 1 inches to join the side together, and the upper part I use 1.5 inches. I also went ahead, I attached the flare to the sleeve. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out the excess of the zipper. After that, I will start pinning the sleeve to the armhole. And when I'm fixing the sleeve, I'm going to make sure the side of the sleeve and side of the top is aligned together before I start pinning it. So guys, after I'm done pinning the sleeve, I'm going to take the machine to stitch it together. So guys, after I'm done fixing the sleeve, I also went ahead, I waved the inside. If you have a weaving machine, I would advise that as you are sewing, you weave. So I weaved the inside, I also weaved the hem of the top. So I use 0.5 inches to fold in the hem allowance on the top. And for the slit is on the side. So guys, this is the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoyed the video and watched it to the end, please don't forget to like, comment and share. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please don't forget to click the subscription button down below. And also ring the notification whenever I post any video, you'll be notified. See you guys in my next video. Bye.